Good morning, dear students of class 8. Welcome to our online class from LPM Public School, Gola Bazar, Gorakhpur. Student, as you know, I am a science teacher, DPS sir, and today I am going to explain the remaining part of the chapter Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. Microorganisms, Friend and Foe. In the previous chapter, in the part 1 video, I have already told you what is the sense of the friend and what is the sense of the foe. And I have also explained about the one microorganisms I have discussed already about the bacteria. Today, my topic will be about the virus and algae. So, in today's class, we will discuss I will explain you about the virus. What is virus? So, as you know, virus is also a microorganism that is present in nature, in everywhere, in soil, air, water, everywhere. But it remains inactive unless and until it gets touch with any living cells. They remain inactive. As soon as they get inside the living cell by means of air, by means of infected water, food, whatever, as the moment as they enters the living cell, they become active and starts increasing their number, starts producing and starts feeding. So now let's see. Virus is a very small microorganisms that can be only seen by the help of a very powerful microscope that is called the electron microscope. So student, to see any very tiny small particles, organisms, we used to take the help of a very powerful microscope known as the electron microscope. So this virus organisms that could be only seen under a powerful electron microscope. Okay. Next is that all type of viruses are parasitic in nature. That means they depend on other for their surviving. Okay. For everything they depend on the other living cells. So they are parasitic in nature. And they remain in nature. Just now I have told you, when they are in an unfavorable condition. What is the meaning of unfavorable conditions? Means when their favorable condition comes, as soon as they enters any living cell, that is their favorable condition. But unless and until they are outside the body of any living cells, they remain in inactive form, just like dead cells. But as they got the chance by various sources, they enters the living cells, they become active and starts growing in them, in that living cells, and infect that living cells and living body. They need living cell to grow and feed. This virus need living cells to grow and feed. Next student, they are the agent of various diseases like common cold, polio, AIDS, swine flu, etc. The few diseases which I have named here just now, which are the causes of this virus, just like polio virus, HIV. Okay, you can see here common cold, flu, polio virus, influenza virus, swine flu, etc. These are the diseases that occurs due to this virus. If it's infect any person, these diseases might occurs. And not a single virus causes these all diseases. Different viruses causes these all diseases. Okay. So next, I am going to draw a few figure and explain you about the few viruses which causes whatever disease. Okay, just see and watch. So student, you can see here I have drawn. You can see here I have drawn the figure of few viruses and the disease caused by these type of virus. This figure is a virus which caused Ebola virus. Okay, this is a swine flu virus. This figure I have drawn for the HIV/AIDS virus, and this figure I have drawn for the polio virus. So these are the various figure of the viruses that causes different diseases in living creatures. Student, one thing I want to tell you that you must draw these figure in your fair copy. In the previous video, I have explained you the bacteria and the figure what I have drawn on the board. The same figure from the book you will draw in your fair copy, as well as virus and the further topic what I am going to explain you about the algae. That also, the figure of that algae you will draw from a book, saying from a book in your fair copy you will draw. Because if you will draw the diagram, it will be better for you, because might be in the exams the diagram will be given and you have to draw there. So better you practice these diagrams in your fair copy. Okay students, now I am going to explain you about the algae. Okay, so wait and watch. So students, you see here my next topic is algae. Algae, they are most primitive and plant-like organisms. Algae are such microorganisms that are present on this earth from very beginning. Okay, and there are two types. There are some algae that could be seen only under a microscope because they are very small. That is called the microalgae, and there are some algae which are big enough that could be seen with our natural eyes. That is called the macroalgae. Microalgae and macroalgae. Example of microalgae is Chlamydomonas, and one example of macroalgae is Spirogyra. So students, I am going to tell you about the algae. Algae is the most primitive microorganisms, green plant, okay, that present on the earth's surface from very beginning, and they contain chlorophyll in them. Chlorophyll is present in them, and due to the presence of chlorophyll, they can prepare their own food. They are found in moist places, means they are found in moist, damp places. Okay, they are found in moist, damp places as well as stagnant water, just like pond water. Some are so small that could be seen only under microscope. Such are called microalgae. Example of a microalgae is Spirogyra. Spirogyra, example of a microalgae that is so small that could be seen only under microscope. And there is most microorganisms, most algae are macroalgae. Macroalgae means big size, that could be seen with our naked eyes, with our natural eyes. One example I am giving you about the macroalgae, that is the fucus. Okay students, so again I am repeating you, you must clear your doubt that two types of algae are there. One is the microalgae, other is the macroalgae. Microalgae could be only seen under the microscope, and the macroalgae that can be seen with our natural eyes. Example, very few microorganisms, very few algae are microalgae, and most of the algae are macro. One examples I am giving both of that. One examples of microalgae is Spirogyra, and one examples of macroalgae is Fucus. Okay, now I am talking about the unicellular and multicellular. Some algae have single cell in their body, made up of single cell. An example of a single cell algae is Chlamydomonas. Chlamydomonas is the name of that algae which contain a single cell in their body. And one example of multicellular algae, you must know that most algae contains multicellular. Only some algae contains single cell, that means unicellular. One examples of the unicellular algae I have just given you Chlamydomonas, and one examples of multicellular is Spirogyra. So students, just now you have seen that I have explained about the algae. What is about? They are most primitive plant-like organisms. They are most primitive, means from very beginning they are present on the surface, and they are like plant type. Why? Because they contain chlorophyll, they can prepare their own food, they are autotrophic in nature, that's why they are plant type. And next is that they are found mostly in the moist places. Okay, some are small, some microorganisms are very small, that could be seen only the help of microscope, that is called the microalgae. One of the example of microalgae is Spirogyra, and there are some algae which could be seen with our naked eyes. One example of that macroalgae is Fucus. Next, some algae, there are very few algae which have got single cell in their body. One of the example I am giving about the single cell algae is Chlamydomonas, and there are many algae which contains multicell. One example I am giving about the Spirogyra. Spirogyra is a multicellular algae, and Chlamydomonas is a single cell, it means unicellular algae, and Spirogyra is a microalgae, and Fucus is a macroalgae. So students, now I am drawing a figure of this algae. You must draw it in your copy. Again I am repeating, you must draw it in your copy, fair copy. Okay students, now watch. So student, you can see here I have drawn the few algae figure. This is a Chlamydomonas figure, this is a nostoc figure, this is Spirogyra figure, and this is the Volvox figure. So this figure I have drawn here. You too also draw from your book in your fair copy, and whatever the notes or the exercises, questions or whatever provided by me from here, you must note it in your fair copy and learn it. Okay student, thank you, have a nice day. Hope so you have enjoyed the video, and study carefully, study properly at your home, and do all the tasks what is given to you. Okay, thank you, have a nice day.